Family that left me on the streets at 16, now 30 years later want to apologize and make up for lost time.
Part 1: The Beginning.
I lost my mom when I was 12.
She passed away from breast cancer.
After that, it was just me and my dad. It was hard, but we got through it together. At least, that's what I thought. When I was 14, my dad met and married my stepmom, Ashley. She had 2 kids, my stepbrother Mark, who was the same age as me, and my stepsister Emily, who was 12 at the time. At first, things weren't so bad. Ashley was kind to me, and Emily was sweet.
But Mark? Mark was a problem from day one.
He and I were always arguing, always fighting. Every time we fought, my dad took his side.
He'd say things like, "Give Mark a break, he's been the man of his house for a while."
Like somehow, I hadn't just lost my mom. When I turned 15, I met a girl at school, Lisa. We started dating, or at least, what you'd call dating at that age. But apparently, Mark had a crush on her too. He got jealous, furious that I asked her out first. We fought about it, of course. And, as usual, my dad had to step in. And, as usual, I was the one blamed for causing trouble.
Then, everything changed.
A few weeks after my 16th birthday,
my stepmom Ashley was putting away my laundry. Suddenly, I heard her yelling. It was loud, panicked.
Lisa was with me at the time, so we both ran to see what was happening. When we got to my room, Ashley was standing there, holding a handful of my sister's underwear in her hands. She was screaming, asking me why they were in my drawer.
I froze. I had no idea what was going on.
I tried to explain that I had never seen them before, but no one believed me. Then Mark stepped forward and said he'd caught me staring at Emily before. He claimed I once said I wanted to marry her. All lies, but that was all it took.
Lisa slapped me across the face,
called me a perv, told me we were done and walked out. My dad grabbed me by the arm,
dragged me toward the door, and shouted, "I'm not keeping a pervert in my house." I was 16. A kid. Crying, begging him to listen. To understand that Mark had set me up. He didn't care. He opened the door, shoved me outside, and told me to get lost. I said I had nowhere to go. He looked me in the eyes and said, "That's not my problem." Then he closed the door. That was it. No family. No home. No clothes except what I was wearing. I called my grandparents, but my dad had already gotten to them. They told me they wouldn't help a pervert. So, I ended up on the streets. 16 years old. Alone. For 2 years, I survived however I could. I won't go into details, but no kid should ever have to live through what I did. It was dark. Hopeless. But I made it through. Lots of therapy later in life helped me deal with it. But back then, every day was just about surviving. Eventually, when I turned 18, I got a job at a boxing gym. In a different state, far away from all of it. That place saved me. I learned discipline, control, and strength. Boxing didn't just train my body. It helped me fight my anger, my hate. Part 2: Finding a New Life. When I turned 18, I finally caught a break. I found work at a small boxing gym in another state, far from where all that pain began. At first, it was just a job. But over time, that place became my therapy. The people there, they didn't care about my past. They just saw a quiet kid who worked hard and showed up every day. I trained. I learned. And slowly, I started to rebuild myself. I wasn't a champion. I was never gonna beat Mike Tyson. But I learned how to fight. Not others. Myself. My anger. My hate. Boxing taught me discipline. It taught me how to breathe again. Years passed. I kept working at that gym, helping train kids. Kids who reminded me of myself at 16. Lost. Angry. But full of potential.
And one day, when I was 35, I met someone. Her name was Aim. She worked at the cafe down the street. She was 20. Yeah, I know, big age gap. But somehow, it just worked. I don't believe in fate or destiny. But if those things exist, then meeting her was proof they're real. We clicked. Instantly. She had this warmth that melted every wall I'd built around myself. We dated for 2 years. And then we got married. Her dad was an electrician. After we married, he hired me to work with him. I think part of it was his way of making sure I could support his daughter. And part of it was just keeping an eye on me. And honestly, I respected that. Because if I ever had a daughter, I'd do the same. 15 years later, we're still together. We have 4 beautiful daughters. My greatest treasures in life. And thanks to AIM, I went back, got my GED, and recently passed my master electrician's license. Every day, I thank her for believing in me when no one else ever did. She's my rock, my cheerleader, my reason to never give up. Then, just last weekend, something happened. Something I never expected. Not after 30 years. I got an email from my stepsister, Emily. I don't know how she found me. Maybe online, maybe through someone else. But I opened it. And it was long. Really long. In her message, she said that after all these years, they finally know the truth. Apparently, Mark, my stepbrother, was drinking with some friends, and my name came up. He started bragging about how he set me up, and how he took my girl. He and Lisa got married, by the way. Yeah. That Lisa. He told the whole story like it was a joke. How he planted the underwear. How he made everyone believe I was a creep. They laughed about it, saying they hoped I died on the streets. And he said it all, with Lisa sitting right there. She heard everything. And she wasn't laughing. She called Emily and told her the truth. Emily said that once she found out, she couldn't sleep. She confronted their parents. And after a long talk, they all decided to reach out to me. Her email was full of apologies. She said she was sorry for believing their lies. Sorry for hating me. Sorry for not reaching out sooner. She said my dad cried for hours when he heard what really happened. That he's been carrying guilt all these years. And now they all want to meet. They want to make amends. They want to make up for lost time. But me? I don't know how to feel. I'm not angry anymore. Not really. Therapy helped me let go of that. And I don't hate Emily. She was just a kid back then. But I also don't need them anymore. I've built my life. My family. My peace. My wife says I should respond. Maybe even say something petty. Like, thanks for finally believing me. Only took 30 years. And honestly, she might be right. She's got a mean streak. And I love that about her. But deep down, I think I'll just delete the email. Because I've already forgiven them. I'm moving on. There's a quote hanging in my house that reminds me of everything I've been through. To see a man beaten not by a better man, but by himself is a tragedy. I refuse to be that man. Part 3, the email. A few days after reading my stepsister's message, I sat down and read it again. This time, slower. It was long. Emotional. And for the first time in 30 years, I could almost hear her voice again. But this time, not angry. Not hateful. Just broken. So, here's part of what she wrote. Dear, name. This is your sister, Emily. As I sit down to finally reach out to you after what feels like an eternity, I want to explain why. I understand if you don't read this. I understand if you delete it. But I truly hope you'll hear me out. First of all, I want to apologize for never reaching out sooner. I was misled by Mark and Dad. They poisoned my thoughts, made me believe lies about you, and turned me against my own brother. For a long time, I hated you. And I didn't even know why. Deep down, I still thought of you as family. But I let their voices replace my own. And for that, I will always be sorry. She went on to explain how their whole world fell apart after the truth came out. Apparently, Lisa overheard Mark bragging to his friends about how he set me up, how he manipulated everything, how he turned my family against me, and how they laughed about it all. Lisa told Emily everything. And when Emily told my dad, he broke down crying. She said she had never seen him like that he cried for hours. They all felt guilt, shame, regret. She wrote, "We know it can't undo the past. We know it won't change what happened. But we want to apologize. We want to see you and make up for the years we lost." When I finished reading, I just sat there, quiet. It's strange. You spend half your life wishing for an apology. And when it finally comes, it doesn't fix anything. Because the damage was already done. And no amount of tears or regret can give 16-year-old me his childhood back. So, with my wife's help, I wrote back. "Dear Emily, thank you for reaching out. I appreciate your honesty. And I truly believe you mean what you wrote. But I have to be honest too. The pain and betrayal from those years left scars that time can't erase. I was just a kid. A scared, broken 16-year-old. Thrown into the streets by his own family. You might never understand what that kind of abandonment does to a person. Therapy helped. My wife helped. My daughters helped. But those wounds, they don't fully heal. So, while I appreciate your apology, I can't simply forgive and forget. Not after everything. I've built a new life. A beautiful life. One filled with love. And family. And peace. And reopening that old door would only let the darkness back in. So please understand. I wish you all well. Truly. But I need to keep moving forward. Don't reach out again. Because the past, it's where it belongs." And that was it. I hit send. And for the first time in my life, I felt free. Not angry. Not bitter. Just free. A few months later, I posted one final update. Not because of them, but because of how far I'd come. Everything had been quiet since my reply. They never reached out again. And honestly, I think they finally understood. And life? Life has been good. Better than good. We just found out my wife's pregnant again. This time. Part 4, Final Chapter, Peace at Last. It's been 3.5 months since that email. And honestly, it's been quiet. No calls. No messages. No, we just wanted to check in. And that's silence. It's peace. For the first time in my life, I feel like the past is truly behind me. Life has been good. Better than I ever imagined it could be. A few weeks ago, my wife and I found out something. Something unexpected, but beautiful. We're having a baby. A boy. Our first son. After 4 daughters? I won't lie, I was a little nervous. But my wife just smiled at me and said, "You're a great dad. You've got this." And you know what? She's right. Because I finally understand what being a father really means. It's not just blood. It's love. It's presence. It's choosing your family every single day. I sometimes think back to that 16-year-old kid, standing on the curb with nowhere to go. And if I could tell him anything now, I'd say, "You made it. You're safe. You're loved." And you'll never be alone again. So, yeah. Maybe they finally learned the truth. Maybe they finally felt guilt. But I'm not looking back anymore. Because I've already found everything I ever needed. Right here. In my wife. In my girls. And soon. In my son. There's a quote I keep framed in my house. It's the one I live by. Work hard. Stay humble. Never forget how hard you fought to get where you are. Who you are is far greater than what you do. That's the truth. That's my peace. That's my family.